Battle Axes of the Most High, coming back to you on a Thursday afternoon class of time to stop the game. I know I was doing class in the morning times, but I think this time is better because I know a lot of y'all probably can hear me better and I'm more awake or whatnot. So hope all is well out there. I know some of y'all probably on break or about to go on break. Some of y'all at the house because it's your off day or so on and so forth. But today's title will be Time to Let the Truth Be Told. You know, for some of you Zero fans that's out there, y'all know the song. But more importantly, also about this truth, you know, the Most High God's truth or whatnot. Because we got to always prepare ourselves for the bitter and the sweet that comes into this truth. Because I know in Christianity, we was always taught that, you know, it's always just good or whatnot. All you got to do is just believe, not knowing that believing is an action word or having faith, not knowing that is an action word or whatnot. But we're gonna go ahead and jump straight into this thing. The first precept we're gonna get is John 8 and 30. All right. It's the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 30. As he spake these words, many believed on him. So like this is going into like Christ, you know, basically prophesying and letting people know what he came for and like, you know, giving warning as like every other prophet that did. Verse 31. Then said Yahweh to those Jews which believed on him. It didn't say to everybody, it said to those Jews, going into the so-called, you know, blacks, um, you know, in this aspect or whatnot, but you know, we all Israel, but at this point in time, he was just talking to like basically the southern kingdom because, you know, northern kingdom was tripping at the time. But even when it come down to that, we know they gonna be back in the fold too. But jumping from the top again. Then said Yahweh to those Jews which believed on him, which took heed to the law according to Sirach 32 and 24. Uh, if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. So this is in red letters. He's saying, if you continue in my word, if you continue in these laws, then are ye my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So I'm going to read that again. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Because we all know what the truth is according to the Bible. We're going to get that later on in the class. But like a lot of people, they just can't take the truth or whatnot. That's why you start seeing like hardship towards our family or whatnot. They start, you know, looking at you different, start treating you different, because that's what the truth is. That's what the truth do to you or whatnot. But it's not all in vain and it's not all for naught. Because the Most High God, he has something planned for us that, you know, go through those things. The next precept we're going to get is John 14, and we're going to start at verse 1. This is the book of John, chapter 14, and verse 1. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. So this is Christ even letting us know that that the Most High God in him, they had prepared a place that has many mansions or whatnot, going into the kingdom, going back into rulership. Verse 3. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may also there ye may be also. Shalaki. So if we gonna you know, take heed to what Christ is saying or whatnot, we gonna be right there with him. If we gonna apply these things, because just like how he kept the law, we gonna keep the law. Just like how he was persecuted, some of us is gonna be persecuted. Like some ways maybe you know, more harsh than others or whatnot, but hey, the dead in Christ shall rise first. But reading on. And whither I go, ye know, and the way ye know. Thomas said unto him, Lord, we know not whither thou goest, and how can we know the way? So this is Thomas asking a question, like, how can we know the way or whatnot? So, you know, of course, Christ is always going to, you know, edify the nation or edify the, you know, the people. Verse 6, Yahweh said unto him, I am the way, the truth. I'll read that again. I am the way, the truth. So like it all ties in into this the same thing, because if we know that Christ is the truth, and according to Psalms 119 and 142 is the law, what does that tell you? That means that, Christ is basically the lawgiver, and it just basically all ties into one. But Yahweh said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Verse 7. If ye had known me, ye should have known my Father also. And from henceforth ye know him and have seen him. So basically, Christ is saying, I look just like my Father, man. If you seen me, you seen the Father. Because we know ultimately that no man can lay eyes on the Most High God without dying. But Christ is letting you know, hey, I look just like my daddy, man. But that's it on that. Next precept we're gonna get is Psalms 119 and 142. Since we, talking about it. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness. Deuteronomy 6 and 25. And thy law is the truth. I'm gonna read that again. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So the law is the truth. Christ is the truth, and we know He was the Word made flesh or whatnot. We gonna get that right now. Let's go ahead and get John 1 and 1. It's the book of John, chapter 1, and verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. So we know the Word is going into Christ again. And it said the Word was with God. So even going into that Trinity doctrine, that cuts that right there. It said the Word was with God. It didn't say the Word was God, if that makes sense. But it's gonna say it, but we're gonna get into it. We're gonna explain it. But the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So let's go ahead and get something on that. Just in case, you got some Christians in there that's trying to say, see, they all the same people. But let's see what the Most High God calls Christ. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, and verse 8. But unto the Son, he said, going into Christ, thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. So this is the Most High God calling Christ a God. And he also calls us gods, but we know that we're going to die like men, of course, because, we fell from our first estate. It's shalom, sis. But it says, thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom. So going on to the next precept, we're going to get Ezekiel 3 and 1. Because just like how I was saying in the beginning of class, this truth is bitter and it's sweet. So we got to always accept, both sides of the thing, excuse me. But this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 and verse 1. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat thou that findest. Eat this robe, and go speak unto the house of Israel. So this is the Most High God telling Ezekiel to go, speaking to the house of Israel, basically giving a warning and telling what they should do or whatnot. Verse 2, so I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that robe. That robe is going into, the Bible. Verse 3, and he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat. So the belly is going into your mind or whatnot, because even like going into, it's the same equivalent to like how we say our heart. Our heart is going into our mind as well. It's not just going into like the vessel that's pumping or whatnot. Yeah, it pumps blood or whatnot, but ultimately, without the mind, that heart is pretty much dead, or the whole body is dead. That's why you got those sayings that if you you cut the head off, the whole body will die or whatnot. But verse 3 from the top, and he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this robe. The bowels going into the same thing that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. So the the sweet things of this Bible, whatnot, knowing that we the chosen people, knowing that we the only ones that can get the kingdom, and so on and so forth. Reading on, verse 4. And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech. So the Most High God letting them know, hey, you done dealt with these people before. They ain't got no strange language or whatnot. You can speak to them directly, because even going back to like how he was talking to Moses, he was saying that, hey, can't I do all things? I'm gonna put my words in your mouth, and you gonna go speaking to the people. He's doing the same thing with Ezekiel. But verse 5 from the top. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech, and of an hard language, but to the house of Israel, but to your kinfolk, man. But reading on, not too many people of a strange speech, and of an hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Because we know that some of our people, they was speaking like different languages or whatnot, depending on like where they was at the time, and like who was teaching them. But for the most part, it was of a language that he knew. That's why he said it wasn't many of them that had hard languages or like speeches that you couldn't understand. Because that's what like the translators come in it too. But verse 6 from the top. Not too many people of a strange speech, and of an hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely, had I sent thee to them, they would have not hearkened. They would have hearkened unto thee. So like even going into like this or whatnot, it's saying like, well, hold on, let me read that again. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would not have hearkened unto thee. So this is going into like even going into like other nations in that sense as well, because Job 11:6. But even with them, if you would have talked to them, hey, they would probably listen. But when it come down to our people are stiff necked and hard headed. But verse 7, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. So, the Most High God letting them know out back that, hey, they ain't even listen to me, so don't expect them to like, listen to you or whatnot. Don't expect this to be an easy task. But reading on, for all the house of Israel are imputed and hard-hearted. Basically telling them, hey, these some hard-headed niggas, man. Verse 8, behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and their foreheads strong against their foreheads. So even going to like how we be out there on the streets, because there's nothing new under the sun, according to Ecclesiastes 1:9. There's whenever they try to scoff or whatnot, because I'm pretty sure Israel was scoffing against Ezekiel, but the Most High God, he made our faces strong against their faces, and our foreheads strong against their foreheads, because hey, even in Isaiah 45:17, it says, hey, we shouldn't be ashamed nor confounded, because we're keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. So we know every time we've been out on the street, we always being undefeated, man, because we got the one thing that nobody else has, and it's these laws, statutes, and commandments. But going on to the next precept. Now I'm gonna keep reading on. Verse 10. Well, verse 9. Shalaki. As an adamant harder than flint have I made thy forehead, fear them not. Because the Most High God, he never gave us, the spirit of fear, according to 2 Timothy 1:7. Neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. So he said, don't even, like, some of them, they probably was swole as you don't know what, man. But at the same time, the Most High God said, hey, don't fear their looks or whatnot, man. Don't fear how rugged they may look, or how thuggish they may look. The Most High God said, hey, you got me. Because best believe, they probably can, kill just the body, but I can kill the soul and the body, man. I can put something on them that you can never put on them. So, reading on, verse 10. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto thee, receive in thine heart, and hear with thine ears, and go and get thee to them of the captivity unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, Thus saith the Lord God, whether they will hear or whether they'll forbear. So even when we be going back to like when we be on the streets or whatnot, hey, some people, a whole lot of people, they ain't gonna listen. But we do have that one or two, maybe even three that will listen or whatnot, that'll give ear. But a lot of times when we try to speak to them, they act like they don't hear us speaking to them, man. Like they be looking straight at us. Or like when we call them out, I'm talking about we call out every type of color they have on or what they have on. Excuse me. But when it come down to it, they'll just keep on walking by. That's why the Most High God was letting us know and letting Ezekiel know that this is gonna be a rebellious house, according to Zechariah 7:11. But verse 10 from the top. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto thee, receive in thine heart, and hear with thine ears, and go, get thee to them of the captivity unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, Thus saith the Lord God, whether they will hear or whether they'll forbear. Verse 12. Then the Spirit took me up, and I heard behind me a voice of a great rushing, saying, Blessed be the glory of the Lord from his place. So even when we read on, we know that, Ezekiel, he gonna do the works or whatnot. The Most High God, he prepared him everything that he needed to do as far as like, how he could get there and so on and so forth. But going on to the next precept, because we're gonna go into like a few bitter things that we gonna go through in this truth or whatnot. Going back into the time to let the truth be told. But we're gonna get Matthew 10 and 34. Cause I know this is hard for a lot of our people that's just now getting into the truth. People that's still in the like being in the truth for a while. Like they may be at odds with their loved ones or whatnot. I'm gonna start at verse 33. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, and verse 33. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father, which is in heaven. So that can also go into bitterness as well. If you ashamed of the Most High God and His Son Yahweh, the Most, Christ, He gonna deny you in front of the Father. That's why He gonna say, "Depart from me, O worker of iniquity, I have never knew you." Because we know even in that precept, what's that in the Sirach, he's talking about bashfulness or whatnot, or going into just being a fearful, hearted person. Like say when Jacob troubles hit, and they telling you to eat that pork, are you gonna eat it, or you gonna die with it? Just like how the seven sons and the mother have died or whatnot. Because there will be some that is gonna give in to that, but are you? Verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. So this is Christ letting us know, because this is in red letters, that he ain't sending peace on the earth, man. He's sending a sword. Because a lot of people, they get this image of, Sibo in their mind, and like all these movies that they had out, thinking that he's passing dandelions out and pieces of candy, hugging on you and all that. But Christ ain't that type of dude. Don't get me wrong, he have love for his people, and he will, have compassion on them. He even went so far as washed another man's feet and so on and so forth. But when it come down to him getting his planet back into submission, he ain't playing no games. That's why he said he ain't sending no peace on earth. He ain't gonna send the peace or bring the peace until after everything is set back in order. This is talking about when he's invading. But verse 35, and even right now. But for I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So it's gonna be son against father, mother against daughter, daughter-in-law against mother-in-law, and so on and so forth. Uncles against aunties, grandpas against grandmas, cousins against cousins. You know, verse 36. A man's foes. The word foes means enemies or whatnot. Shall be they of his own household. And read that again. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. So even the people that you are like that got in the same household or that's living with you at the time, hey, they might be at variance with you because you in this truth, but they not. Yeah, they'll listen to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, they still against you or whatnot. You know, you can love them from a far distance. You can love them from a far distance, but as far as just trusting them with your life or whatnot, you have to be aware of them too. Because hey, this truth would do that to him. But as with Christ or whatnot, because he had Judas, somebody that was near and dear to him, that even turned on him. So even going back into like Ecclesiastes 1:9, what you think is gonna happen now? It's gonna be the same thing. Verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. I'm gonna read that again because I know this probably hit home for a lot of people. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. So basically saying he ain't saying that you can't love your mother and father, but if you love them more than you love Christ, then you ain't worthy of them, man. Say, prime example, if your mother or your father needs your help on the Sabbath or whatnot. Yeah, it's cool to do well on the Sabbath, but as far as trying to go out shopping and cutting the grass and so on and so forth, you can't do that. You can do it Sunday, Sunday through Friday, but on the Sabbath, man, well, from Friday evening to Saturday evening, you can't do that, man. Now, when the sun go down on Saturday evening, you can do it then. But when it come down to that, man, you gotta love the Most High God and His Son more than that. But he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. So even if the son or daughter is just a newborn, man, if that baby's trying to basically sin, and it's wrong, hey, the Most High God say, if you even love them more than me, you're not worthy of me. But reading on. And he that taketh not his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. So even going into the heavy burdens that we go through, if you can't take on those things or take on the same like afflictions that Christ went through, because we know we ain't gonna never go through none that Christ actually went through as far as like, the way he was crucified. But it will be something to that extent, if that makes sense. But if you can't take on those things, you ain't worthy of it. Reading on. Verse 39. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. So if you trying to chase after the bag right now, if you trying to be a man pleaser and you find it your quote unquote life right now, you gonna lose it in the end. Because hey, you put money and everything else over the Most High. But he said, he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. Going into, First Thessalonians. The same, basically saying the dead in Christ shall rise first or whatnot. Because again, some of us will be persecuted for this thing, man. For his sake though. But reading on, verse 40. He that receiveth you receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. I'm gonna read that again. He that receiveth you receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. So basically saying that, hey, I'm gonna receive you if you receive me, and the Most High God, He gonna receive you if you receive Him as well. But going on to the next precept, we're gonna go to Matthew 5:11. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 11. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. So the Most High God, Christ has said, blessed are those people that's basically getting, reviled on and getting persecuted, and shall even get, lied on, because that's what people's gonna do when they see that you in this truth, and they can't, take that light from you, because the Most High God, He don't the one that can take your candlestick from you. If He see that you playing with this truth, He'll take it from you. But whenever they know that they can't take none of that from you, it hurts them, man. It bothers them because they can't get you out of the spirit or whatnot. But it says you are gonna be blessed when you go through those things because you doing it for His sake. But verse 12, rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. So like all the prophets before us, they was all pretty much persecuted. for his name's sake. And that's why it said, even going jumping back up, it said, great is your reward in heaven. So if you lose your life for this truth, or for the Most High God and the Son Yahweh Shai, hey, that's pretty much an automatic spot in the kingdom, man. If doing it for the right cause and not for vain glory. But going on to the next precept, where we get Galatians 4:16. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 4 and verse 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? I'm gonna read that again. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? So this could be a question that you can ask many people, man, of like that's not in this truth, or even those that are in this truth. Are you become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Because I have no respect to persons? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they do. They have become your enemy because they don't want to receive this truth. They don't want to receive the good and the bad of this truth, man, or of this Bible, should I say? But reading on, going to John 8:45, because for some reason I always precept these like side by side, and it'll make sense in a minute when I read it. So I'm gonna read Galatians again, and then I'm gonna jump straight to John 8:45. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 4, and verse 16 from the top. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? This is the book of John, chapter 8, and verse 45. And because I tell you the truth, you believe me not. So I became your enemy, and because I tell you the truth, you believe me not. So going on to the next precept, we'll get John 15:18. It's the book of John, chapter 15, and verse 18. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. So this is going into Christ or whatnot. They hate you because they hated me. That's what he's basically saying, man. Because I stood on to do my Father's will, they hated me for it. And just like how you were standing to do the Father's will, they gonna hate you for it. Verse 19. If ye were of the world would love his own. So if you was of this world doing everything but the right thing, they'll love you, man. If you out here whoring the sisters out, they'll love you. If you out here chasing the bad, they'll love you. If you out here doing any type of crime that you hey Shalom, if you're doing any type of crime out here, they'll love you for it, man. Yeah, even with the Jewish people or Amalek, they love promoting that gangster rap on our people. Talking about, hey, I'm gonna kill this nigga, I'm gonna do this, that, and the third or whatnot. Hey, I'm gonna get his female. Hey, I'm gonna sell drugs to my own people, not knowing that you killing the soldiers of your own army, man. But read it on, verse 20. Remember the word that I said unto you: the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. So Christ even going into a deeper what's the word I'm looking for? Explanation. I think that's how you say it. But the servant is not greater than his Lord. So he letting you know, hey, you a servant of me, you ain't greater than me. You're gonna go through a lot of the things that I went through as well, man. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my sayings, they will keep yours also. So if they kept his sayings, like the people that we be teaching, they gonna keep ours too. Not all of them, but 1/3 or whatnot. But going on to the next precept, uh, Zechariah 13:8. It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 13. I'm gonna start at verse 7. Verse 7. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, said the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn mine hand upon the little ones. So this is basically going into like a parable of the scattering of the sheep, us being the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But verse 8 is the point. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord, two parts therein shall be cut off and die. So this is going into like 2/3 of Israel because we know judgment starts in the house of Israel. And it's saying 2/3. That's a whole lot of people, man. But even with the 1/3, that's millions upon millions of people as well, man. Like if we actually do the numbers and all that, because we are like the sand of the sea. So yeah, it's gonna be a whole lot more that's wiped out, but we still always have that remnant that's left, Lord's will. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, two parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. But that 1/3 we shall be left therein, man. Because hey, we endured. Hey, we still gotta, go into the wilderness and all that. But after that wilderness and after Christ, tries us, we'll be good. We'll be set, man. Lord's will. But verse 9, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. So, like, even after the wilderness, we still got to go through judgment. Let me correct myself. We still got to go through judgment day, and now after that, you know, he said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. Will be good." You have a spot in there, man. But even going back to verse 9 or whatnot, it's saying like we shall be as silver. Silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. Because if we ever seen like silver or gold melted, and like getting all those impurities off of them or whatnot, once it comes out that furnace, the mud probably about that big or whatnot. But it's pure though. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. So the Most High God, He'll hear us, man. Once like all this is over with, He'll hear us at any given time, man, and He'll let us know that, hey, y'all my people, and you're my God or whatnot. We'll say you're my God or whatnot. But going on to the next precept, we're gonna get Romans 9 and 6. It's the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 6. Not as though the word of God had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. So this is even a precept with that or whatnot. Because, yeah, by blood you are Israel, man. But if you ain't keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, you just a nigga. You just a Mexican. You just a Native American, Puerto Rican, Dominican, so on and so forth, man. But that's why I say not all Israel, which are of Israel. Because you ain't doing the things that the Most High God just told you to do. All you gotta do is just keep the commandments. And that's simple, man. That's why in 1 John 5 and 3 he said, "But this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous." It's not hard to grow a beard on your face. It's not hard for the women to wear a dress. It's not hard to love your brother, man. Hey, they might piss you off to the max or whatnot at certain points or whatnot, but you are still commanded to love them, man. But going on to the next precept, we'll get Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. So this will be the last precept for bitterness or whatnot. Then we're gonna go into the sweetness of it, or of this truth, should I say? This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all His commandments and His statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So we know curses is a bad thing, or like the word of curse is something bad. I know a lot of people, they try to say a curse can be a good and a bad thing. No, man. Of course, not what the so-called white man in these other nations, you know, definition is, but what the Bible say. It say a blessing is a good thing, and a curse is a bad thing. Life is the commandments. Death is sin. That's simple, man. But people, they try to go above their pay grade. They try to be like the Most High, but then they put a delusion on our people. Ultimately, we know it's the Most High God that'll put a delusion on them. Because the Most High, he put a delusion on the other nations, and he'll put a delusion on you because you try to take after the other nations or whatnot. Because they gonna serve their purpose or whatnot. They gonna serve other gods. That's their purpose. But when it come down to us, we supposed to be serving our God, the one and true living God. And even when it come down to us being back in the kingdom, they gonna have to serve our God too. Or like Capt Benaniyah always say, they gonna get down or they gonna lay down. But we're gonna go through a few little curses or whatnot. Nothing too deep. But verse 16, curse shall thou be in the city. So even when we be bringing it out on the streets or whatnot, we see our people that's in the ghettos and the slums. We see who be at the West End station as a majority. We see who gets shot down in the streets as a majority. We see who got to work a 9 to 5 just to make ends meet as a majority. Cause yeah, you guys a couple of white people or other nations that work a 9 to 5, but not like us, man. Because even with our Northern Kingdom brothers like Issachar, they work the longest hours for the cheapest pay, man. That's a curse. But reading on, and cursed shall thou be in the field. So we already know back then we was cursed in the cotton field, sugarcane field, tobacco field, rice field, whatever other field is out there. And even when you bring it up today, we are cursed in the work field. We last hired, first fired. Hey, what I work in right now, I work in the landfill, man. The only difference is I get paid a little bit, and the difference is I pick up trash instead of cotton, man. But even going back into that, it said, "Curse shall thou be in the field." Like even right now, what I'm not picking up trash as much as I used to, but I'm washing the bulldozers or whatnot. So I might as well say I'm doing something concerning the trash or whatnot, getting mud all on my face or whatnot, not knowing that. Well, I do know that the trash and that mud is something filthy, man. You could break your whole face out. You probably catch something out here, man. But going to verse 28, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. So the Most High God, going these are all curses that the Most High God he putting up on us or whatnot. It's going into the bitterness again. The Most High God, he'll do all these things because what we was disobedient. But now we're gonna go to the sweet side of the truth or whatnot. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So that's a sweet thing. He'll set us above all the other nations on the earth, man. Knowing right now they all above us, man. Because what you see, the Arabs, they at 7-Eleven. Sometimes you see the Ethiopians, they at 7-Eleven. You got Moab and Ammon. They both at the nail salons. And you got the so-called white man. You be in them high rises or whatnot, living in the suburbs. Then you got them funky Amalekites. They the ones that own the banks and stuff. So all these nations is above us. Elam too, man. But reading on, verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. So if we obey the Most High God, hey, all these blessings gonna come upon us. So we know how the curses is doing us. So just imagine all the blessings that's gonna come upon us, man. We gonna be having so many blessings, we ain't gonna know how to react, man. All we gonna be able to say is all praise to the Most High, man. Some of y'all probably be crying or whatnot. I probably shed a tear too, man. But going on to the next precept, we're gonna get Deuteronomy 31 and 8. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31 and verse 8. And the Lord, he it is that doeth go before thee. He will be with thee. He will not fail thee, neither forsake thee. Fear not, neither be dismayed. So that's another sweet thing, man. Knowing that the Most High God is for us, man. Talking about, it said, he it is that go before thee. He will be with thee. Anytime you're going through trials and tribulations, he right there. He will not fail thee, because the Most High God, he ain't a man that he should lie. Any promise that he gave to us or whatnot, best believe he gonna keep that, man. Neither forsake thee. Because even what King David said, he said he ain't never seen the righteous forsaken, man. Reading on, fear not. He said, fear not, because man, I got you, man. Hey, I'm over all this, man. Hey, whatever type of thing that's brought upon thee, know that I did it, whether it be good or bad. Because at the end, if you endure it, you got the kingdom, man, forever. But reading on, neither be dismayed. So don't be dismayed at all these signs that's coming about, because all these things must come to pass, man, regardless of how you feel. The next precept we're gonna get is Amos 3:2. It's the book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 2. Yeah, verse 2. You, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. So, of all the families, of all the nations that's up on this earth, he only known us. And he said, therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. He said, because I chose you and I ain't choose none else, therefore I will punish you. Therefore, he'll chasten us according to, Hebrews 12:6, man. Because he say, he that he chastened, the Most High God, he loves, man. So as far as these other nations, he ain't chastening them, but he is chastening us. So hey, we need to give the Most High God all this respect that we have, man. Same with his son. But going on to the next precept, Romans 9:4. This is the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 4. Who are Israelites? To whom pertaineth the adoption? Well, I'm gonna jump over to verse 3 so we get context, just in case we got any more scoffing Christians or apologetics that's in this group chat or whatnot, or in this comment section. Verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. So we know brethren is going into Ezekiel 11:15. We know kinsmen is going into like how we talk, man, kinfolk, according to the flesh, according to the bloodline, man. Verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, Galatians 4:5, and the glory, Luke 2:32, and the covenants, Hebrews 8:8, Jeremiah 31:31, and the giving of the law, Psalms 147:19 through 20, and the service of God, Romans 12:1, and the promises, Acts 13:23, man. So all these things was given to us and us only, and that's a sweet thing, man. But going on to the next precept, we're gonna get Malachi 3:7. Whenever I find Malachi. All right, this is the book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 7. Even from the days of your fathers, you are gone away from mine ordinances, and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. But ye said, wherein shall we return? So even going into this or whatnot, the Most High God, he loves us so much that he talking about, hey, all you got to do is return unto me, and I will return unto you. Because, hey, I won't forsake you as long as you don't forsake me. Love me, I'm going to love you. Like, that's an even trade, man. The Most High God, hey, he still love us enough to wake us up in the morning, man. So, hey, you better show the Most High God some type of love. And, his son, Yahweh. But, you know how Israel is. But when you read at the end of it, it said, but ye said, wherein shall we return? So, we always asking questions. Wherein shall we return? Because even going to Malachi, said 1 and 2. It's the book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet he say, wherein hast thou loved us? So, we going through all these hardships and stuff, and we be like, hey, when you love us? When can we return? How should we return or whatnot? Hey, the Most High God, he's showing us, on a daily, but, our people just, we be simple-minded sometimes. Was not Esau Jacob's brother, said the Lord, yet I love Jacob, going to the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. And I hated Esau, going to the so-called white man. and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So Most High God, He loved us so much that hey, whenever He come back, He gonna have Esau in submission. You know, we gonna be ruling over them for 1,000 years. After that, they getting burnt off the face of the planet, man. So that's some real like love, man. That's a sweet part of it. Cause I don't know about y'all, but I know even before I was in the truth, I never really liked white people. I ain't, I ain't gonna lie to you. Even though my grandma, my mama's side, she was white or whatnot. I didn't, I just didn't, click with her like that, or any of them on that side. I mean, that's just how the Most High God, He put on my spirit or whatnot, because He knew that I knew that these people was no good for me or whatnot. Yeah, I mean, my family, it'll be a high and by type of situation. I going on about my business. But going on to the next precept. Uh, what's the name? 2 Timothy 2:12. It's the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 12. If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. I'll read that again. If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. So again, going into like all the previous precepts that I have brought out. If we suffer just like how Christ suffered or whatnot, we shall reign with him or whatnot. We ain't gonna be on the same pedestal or like, level as he is, but we will reign with him, man. Because it's always an order in this thing. And even when we're in the kingdom, that order would never break, man. Because it'll be the Most High, Christ, man, with 144,000. That you got the angels, you got us, in that order, it always be an order, more of the story. But reading on, if we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he also will deny us. So if you deny the Most High God, he gonna deny you. That's pretty much simple, man. Keep the commandments and live, otherwise you're gonna die. That's simple. But that was my last precept. All praise to the Most High for allowing me to, bring out this class or whatnot for the edification of the nation. Cause hey, I know my voice I got a sore throat. I guess because the weather changing. It won't go from cold to hot to lukewarm. So that's Texas for you, man. But the law we're gonna get for today is Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 25. Because over here at the Battle Axes, we always say, keep the laws or whatnot. We always bring out a law because the Most High God, He gave us the law, so we need to start putting them to use, getting back into, what we used to do as far as the laws. We know we can't keep them all because it's some for women, some for children, some for men, of course, and then it's even going into the sacrificial law that we no longer do, man. But it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel, okay, can we talk? In the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. So this is going into like, say if a man finds a woman or whatnot, and he forces her, basically, rape her or whatnot, and he, lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. So that man, he'll be put to death for that. So I know a lot of our people, they think that it's only 10 commandments, but that's not in the 10. But that is a commandment that we shouldn't do. Because even going into it, rape is considered murder or whatnot. And that even goes into like, hating your sister or whatnot if you're doing that, because why would you force yourself upon a woman or whatnot when, the Most High God say to marry you, just doing it out of your own lust, and the Most High God, He'll put you to death for that. But with that, I say shalom. Hey, I hope everybody's out there doing good. I hope y'all keep on it there, cause hey, the way the time is flying, hey, kingdom is on its way. And as far as like these other nations or whatnot, stay peacefully among them all. Just let the Most High God deal with them. Exodus 14:14. And even deal with your brothers in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But with that, I say shalom.